Thank you for that wonderful applause. My name's Kenny Josie. Hey, our speaker today is Sharon Lewis. Sharon is with the OBA, the Oklahoma Bankers Association. She heads up the fraud division. And she's been in this business for 41 years. She said it was okay, over 40 years. She said it was okay to say that. But, and we're not here to scare you about your money. It's safe at the bank. We do a great job, I think, at the bank level, putting firewalls in place to keep fraud from happening. The bad guys, unfortunately, have figured out that since they can't penetrate the banks, they target the customer. And so whether it's a business or an individual, it's mind-boggling the creativity that they use to come up with ways to steal your money or attempt to steal your money. And so Sharon is going to talk to us about trying to identify some of those ways they're doing it, and hopefully to avoid it. So,
Correct.
Sharon, come on up.
Thank you, Kenny. And yes, I gave him permission to use the over 40 years. The gray hair kind of gives it away. So thank you guys for having me today. I really appreciate the time. The one request I have, if you learn anything today, please share it with others who are not here. Because this is how we spread the good word and not the horror stories. So as you can see up on the screen, and I have 4 slides, and I am not going to read them all. And I've told Kevin he has the 4 slides. If you would like a copy of that slide deck, you can have it. There's nothing proprietary on there. There are too many new technologies, encrypted communications, reductions in law enforcement resources. There are a whole lot of things that are contributing to the significant increase in fraud. It's personal needs. I can make more money committing fraud than I can working a real job, which is sad, but that's true. You have encrypted communications, like the app Telegram, if any of you have heard of that, which is used primarily for criminal groups to communicate. They can promote and sell an entire fraud as a service. Here is the fake ID and everything you need to commit this type of fraud. You send me $500 in cryptocurrency, I give you everything you need, including training videos. So it is growing at a ridiculous pace. I follow continuously what is happening on the East Coast, the West Coast, North, South, other countries, because if it's there, it's coming here. And we're not prepared. I'm just saying, as a business, as consumers, even as bankers, we are not prepared for the onslaught that is coming. AI is coming faster than we are prepared for. So my bottom statement there, declaring loss or decreasing loss, not declaring, is just as important as increasing profits. Now I know as bankers, most of our bankers, although we're all friendly, there's still some competition, right? Do you see any of them competing to take fraud losses? No, nobody does. Nobody competes to take fraud losses. We all have to work together as a united front to share information about the trends that we are seeing, what is hitting our financial institutions, what is hitting our businesses, and share that with others so that we can stop this in its tracks. If nothing else, we'll slow it down. And there really is no stopping it in its tracks. It's not ever going to go away. That's what I call job security, because it will always be there. As soon as we figure out how one type of fraud is taking place and they know they're getting stopped, they will change it. Even if it's just so slightly, they will change it to get around those workarounds. So the trends that we're seeing, and I'm going to talk mostly about what is causing the business losses today, not necessarily the bank losses. What we're seeing on the business side is a real lack of sufficient internal controls that can lead to embezzlement, that can lead to customer impact. It can lead to disorganization within the management team. You have to have dual custody and dual controls in place. If you have weak checks and balances, somebody will figure out that weakness and take advantage of it. It's just the nature of the world right now, as sad as it is. If you don't have that segregation of duties, then you're making it easier for somebody to take advantage of those weaknesses. You know, internal auditing practices need to be reviewed. Think, it's not putting yourself in a mindset of a criminal, but again, it's identifying your strengths and your weaknesses. And if you know where those weaknesses are and you can do something about it proactively ahead of time, do it. Because if you don't understand what your weaknesses are, the criminal element will come find it. And then you become the target. And check controls. For any of you who are still issuing checks, if you own a business that is still issuing checks, please enroll in positive pay services at your financial institution. And in doing that, it matches, you can sign up for Payee Match Positive Pay. Please do that. And it requires someone at your business to work those check files that are being presented against your account every day. But I'm telling you that the mail system no longer is secure. It's just not secure. We have a real issue with mail theft. And with all the attention that this area in Oklahoma has received lately, you're going to see more of some of that element coming in to take advantage of what's going on. Whether they think there's going to be big FEMA checks put in the mail or something else, or everybody's counting on large tax return refunds, we're going to see more and more of this. So U.S. Postal Service does have an app called Informed Delivery, where you can sign up for free and see what is being delivered in your mailbox every day. I encourage you to sign up for that. It's just little images that you get in your email that says, even if it's a promotional flyer, you know that's coming in your mailbox today. If you are expecting a check or something else from someone else, a contract someone in your mailbox, you can see that that is being delivered that day. And if you do not receive it within a day or two, then you probably need to reach out to the postmaster to say, I did not receive that. So if you have not signed up for that, please sign up for that. Insufficient internal controls, business email compromise scams, and that's what BEC and email account compromise, that's what those initials stand for. I am not joking when I say somebody's victimized by this type of scam every hour. And if you don't have the right controls in place, such as whoever receives the emails for your company, whether it's support at or info at, something like that, and it's, oh, I need to change payment instructions for this invoice, here's where I need you to send it. Or as we were talking at the table earlier on real estate transactions particularly, here's where you need to wire your funds for closing tomorrow. Those email accounts that are being compromised are changing the payment direction. So you may be paying an invoice, but it's going to somebody else's account, and your vendor never receives that payment. So now you're out whatever that payment was, and you have to pay it again. So those emails, anybody who receives a payment instruction or a request for significant data by email or electronic means, verbally verify it. Do not act on emails alone. If you don't have those controls in place within your companies or your financial institutions, please put them in place. I've seen too many businesses who have lost large amounts of money because they did not have those controls in place. And as financial institutions, we follow your instructions. If you tell us to wire money to Florida for real estate closing, that's where we will wire it. Now, we may ask questions. Did you receive your instructions by email, or did you verbally verify it with the party who sent you that email? But ultimately, you gave us the instructions and we followed your instructions. And it will be whoever initiated that wire who is out the money. And it's sad. So please be cautious. Enroll in positive pay and identity theft. I brought some handouts up here that you are all welcome to. If you personally have not put a credit freeze on your credit bureau, please do so. You may have to take it off of there if you want to obtain anything by credit or apply for anything by credit. Otherwise, if somebody else tries to apply for credit using your personal information, it will get denied if you have a credit freeze on your credit bureau. If you have young children, put it on there. They're not out looking for credit, but somebody else can take your child's social security number and build a credit file for them personally, because there's no history with that social security number, but it is active. So if you have young children or anyone who is not in a credit obtaining age yet, or even if you're older and you say, I'm not ever going to get credit again, I'm paying cash for everything now, put a credit freeze on there so somebody else can't take advantage of that. There is information up here at the table on what the differences is between credit freezes and fraud alerts, and contact information for the 3 credit reporting bureaus. So when we talk about the organized, are any of you in here responsible or managers, owners of a retail business that sells goods and products? Organized retail theft has become a nationwide problem. It is groups of people working together and traveling across the country, hitting specific stores and specific types of items. We just don't monitor enough of what's being sold on marketplaces online. So you will have, in fact, I saw a video not too long ago in California of an individual who had on a long skirt, but they had sewed pockets on the inside of it so they could just slip items within the pockets. And the more they put in, the more the skirt flared out. I watched a law enforcement officer pull 150 Lululemon items out of that skirt. You know how expensive Lululemon is? 150 items tucked in the inside pockets of that skirt. Correct. One person. There were 5 people in the group. So think about that. Think about the ways somebody could come in and just walk out the door with items. So there's organized retail theft, there's data breaches. I do have other booklets up here, like data breach response. This is going to become a bigger and bigger issue as well. Again, there are people out there all day long that their industry is stealing money, and they're looking for the weak points. Whether it's your business or an entire area of businesses, they're looking for the weak points. Don't be that weak point. If it takes you time to research where your weaknesses are and what your loss mitigation processes are going to be, take that time. Because I guarantee you'd rather do that ahead of time than try to figure out how you're going to handle it at the time that it happens. So be proactive, not reactive. So there is some information up here on data breach responses, if anybody would like to pick that up. And reputational damage. If word gets out that your business just lost $500,000 in a fraud scheme, is that going to affect your reputation in the community? Absolutely. But most people don't give that consideration. I know at Bank First, because I was there for 19 years, which is how Kenny knows me, reputational loss was a big consideration. So financial institutions really take that into consideration, and really all businesses should. It only takes one big negative piece of news to affect all of your business. And you don't want that to be a loss where you didn't have proper controls in place and now nobody trusts coming to your business. So reputational damage is on here for that specific reason. There are scams that do target businesses that are not mentioned up here. Some of those are mentioned in this booklet that I also have. Fake invoices, verifying invoices, online listing and advertising scams where maybe they've changed a website that's one number or one alpha character different from yours, and they're pretending to be you. Fake check scams. Again, if you're enrolled in positive pay, please make sure you have appropriate staff to work those files on a daily basis. Because I just talked to someone day before yesterday who had 2 counterfeit checks posted to their account back in February, close to $9,000. The checks were about $4,500 a piece. They paid against the account. When they received their statement, they discovered the 2 counterfeit checks. But this account is enrolled in positive pay. But the one employee who handles their positive pay services was out that day, and nobody else handled it. And most positive pay services says if you don't respond, we will go ahead and pay those items, and then you are responsible for them. So just know that you have to have the right staffing in place to handle those services. But it is absolutely worth it, because now he has to close that business account. He has to get new checks. He has to change everything associated with that account because it's compromised. The checks didn't even bear his company's name. It had some other company name on it. And I believe they were deposited into accounts at a bank up in the Northeast. And I'm sure they were probably deposited via mobile deposit. But, financial institutions are having to use more back office staff to monitor for certain unusual activities, and our businesses should be doing the same. If you do find yourself in a position of a loss that involves the internet, please report it to the Internet Crime Complaint Center as soon as possible. This is the FBI's database that we use to collect the data on all these. And I will tell you, the Oklahoma Bankers Association right now is working diligently on legislation to regulate the cryptocurrency ATMs that are in this state. There are over 400 in the state of Oklahoma. I did not look up how many Stillwater has, but I would imagine it's a few. With 12 different operators: Coinbase, Bitcoin Depot, CoinFlip, Athena. There's several others. And most of those are where you go put cash in this cryptocurrency ATM and you're, quote, buying cryptocurrency. The problem is the scammers have figured out that they can get your customers to come withdraw cash from their financial institution and go plug it into those cryptocurrency ATMs at a convenience store, and all the person withdrawing the cash has is a QR code on their phone. Well, that tells it what crypto wallet to deposit that cash into, okay? There's a second QR code that you have to use to withdraw the funds, and most people don't know that. So right now on consumers, we have a huge issue of individuals withdrawing large amounts of cash from their bank accounts and depositing it into cryptocurrency ATMs, and then that money's gone. Law enforcement does not have the ability to seize those machines, because those machines are just a holding vessel for the cash. That's it. You can't just go report to law enforcement you put $10,000 into a cryptocurrency ATM machine and you want to get it back. They can't go take it back. So just know once it's in there, it's gone. There is no getting it back. Because whatever cryptocurrency wallet it was deposited into, it will be moved out as soon as it's received. It tells you. Absolutely. They're like the small, they're about the size of the small convenience store ATMs. And it has the cryptocurrency type coin emblem and stuff on it. Some of them, like Coin Flip, will have warnings put up on their screens, sort of like some of the notices we have to put on ATM screens before you conduct your transaction. Some of the operators will have warnings on there about how you could be falling for a scam if this is why you're putting money in here, but the majority of them do not. And again, there are no regulations on these. Some of these machines have a $50,000 a day limit. And there are no CTR and FinCEN reporting requirements. So what do you think the most of these machines are used for? Laundering money and stealing from citizens who fall for scams.
So I put $10,000 into a machine. How does the perpetrator get that $10,000? Because there's cash in the box. I just got fined by myself. I put $10,000 into a crypto machine. How does the perpetrator get that $10,000 out of that little box?
It's a digital currency. The cash stays in the box, but it's like an ATM machine. When you put your card in it and it accesses your account, it's doing that virtually. So it's depositing that amount of funds into cryptocurrency wallet, which can then be transferred to the perpetrator's account.
But doesn't that...
Putting cash in the machine, you're putting your bank card in there. Is that what you're saying?
No,
So
not
that
in a cryptocurrency ATM. You're typically showing a QR code that accesses the cryptocurrency wallet that is receiving the deposit. So instead of a physical card like we all are used to, it's a QR code on a phone, is what it is. So my advice is, if you don't know and aren't experienced in cryptocurrency, stay away from it. Stay away from it. It's volatile, and you can't get your money out easily on especially on these scams. If you go put money in one of these ATMs, it's just gone. Unless you own the wallet and you know that. So, any other questions on that? So I'm skipping over some of those, but I'm going to say here are some websites. Oh, sorry, somebody has a question. Yes.
Well, no, property fraud is up, so we do a free property fraud alert.
Correct.
But I've also been told people need to be very careful with QR codes, and we always know card skimmers. What are you seeing as far as false QR codes?
That was a trend, probably a year or so ago, where they were plastering false QR codes on public things like parking meters or stuff like that. I'm not seeing that much of a trend with that anymore. There are easier ways to steal money than by doing that. You may see them on websites that will direct you to a false website or to get you to invest in cryptocurrency, where you're wiring money or are doing a peer-to-peer transfer for some of those investments. But you're right. The county offices are now using a service that will alert you if there is any file changes on your residential or real estate property. The only issue I've had with that is because I live rural, I get the notices for the entire section. Yep, and no, I'm in Oklahoma County. Yeah. Yep, yeah. So good. I'm glad you're doing it that way. So here are some websites that you can follow. There's my contact information. If you have any questions or any situations that you would like to discuss privately, please reach out. I'll be glad to help you in any way. So thank you guys for your time today. Again, if you learned something, please share it. You
Got one more question for you.
Got it.
So I'm a big fan of Venmo.
Mm-hmm.
Venmo and Zelle are out there. Am I at risk with using them at losing money?
Not if you know the other party personally.
Okay.
Where people get into trouble with the peer-to-peer, P2P, or Venmo, Zelle type payments is when they think they're sending money to someone they know, but they haven't really verbally verified it, and it's actually it's a diversion. It's going somewhere else.
Okay.
So just be very cautious and make sure you know who you're sending it to.
Well, first of all, we thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Tim.
coming. We